JavaScript is now used by more than 16 million developers globally, says a survey of more than 19,000 coders, making it the world's most popular programming language by a wide margin. Slashdata's 21st State of the Developer Nation report examined global software developer trends across 160 countries during Quarter 3 2021, covering programming languages, tools, APIs, apps, and technology segments, as well as attitudes of developers themselves. The reports also looked at developer involvement in 5G and IoT, especially how programmers were taking advantage of new advances in technology in tools, apps, and services. JavaScript's ongoing popularity in web and backend applications supported its position as the most popular programming language in Quarter 3 2021. While not necessarily a surprise in itself, JavaScript has, after all, been the world's most used language for a number of years now. Slashdata found that upwards of 2.5 million developers had joined the JavaScript community in the past 6 months alone. That's the same as the entire user base of Swift or the combined communities of Rust and Ruby. The data for JavaScript is also included language derivatives, TypeScript, and CoffeeScript. Python might not be a close second, but its popularity is impressive nonetheless. According to Slashdata, the language is now used by some 11.3 million coders, primarily within data science and machine learning and IoT applications. The brainchild of Guido van Rossum, Python's popularity has exploded in recent years, overtaking that of Java, which is currently used by 9.6 million developers. Java remains a go-to for mobile and desktop apps, Slashdata's survey found. According to Slashdata, Python added 2.3 million developers to its community in the past 12 months. That is a 25% growth rate, and of the highest across all the large programming language communities of more than 7 million users, the report noted. The rise of data science and machine learning is a clear factor in Python's popularity. More than 70% of machine learning developers and data scientists report using Python. For perspective, only 17% use R, the other language often associated with data science. Of course, determining the developer base of any particular programming language is not an exact science. It can be hard to assess how widely used a programming language is, noted Slashdata. Its figures are based on two pieces of data: the organization's own estimate of the number of software developers worldwide, which it puts at 26.8 million, as well as its yearly surveys, which Slashdata said reach tens of thousands of developers every 6 months. So there is some margin for error. Rounding off, the top 5 most popular languages were C, C++, 7.5 million developers, PHP 7.3 million, and C#, 7.1 million. Of these, PHP has grown the fastest over the past 6 months, Slashdata reported, acquiring 1 million new developers between Quarter 1 and Quarter 3. Like JavaScript, PHP remains popular for web and backend applications. Rust is another programming language that has been making waves in recent years. The open source programming language is mostly used in embedded software and bare metal development, although has also found a home in AR and VR game development. Rust has formed a very strong community of developers who care about performance, memory safety, and security. As a result, it grew faster than any other language in the past 24 months, nearly tripling in size from just 0.4 million developers in Q3 2019 to 1.1 million, the report read. Slashdata's report found that developers are increasingly getting involved in 5G projects, particularly those related to IoT, AR, VR, consumer electronics, and machine learning AI. Perhaps unsurprisingly, China was found to be the epicenter of 5G developer activity. 13% of respondents based in China reported they were actively working on 5G projects, which Slashdata said was almost double the global average. North and South America followed with 11% and 10% respectively. Despite this, the report found that 43% of developers in North America had no interest or involvement in 5G, higher than the global average of 35%. Slashdata suggested that misinformation about 5G might be at least partly to blame here. Clearer messaging about the potential of 5G may help to bring new developers on board. However, this is not without challenges in an age where confusion and misinformation about 5G are prevalent, the report said. Slashdata's latest report also aimed to take the pulse on developer sentiment amid changing workforce dynamic and a tech hiring market in flux. Specifically, it asked developers what would prompt them to leave their current employer for a job elsewhere. Half of developers said they would change company for better pay, although a third of respondents weren't financially motivated, opting for motivations such as career advancement, broadening knowledge or skills, the ability to work remotely, and better company culture. Developers in Eastern Europe were most likely to prioritize increasing their salary. Nearly 7 in 10 said a better offer would prompt them to switch jobs. Compensation was also important for Chinese developers, with 3 in 5 saying better pay would make them switch. Experienced developers were found to be the most content in their jobs. Around 1 in 6 of those with 16 or more years of experience said nothing would make them change jobs. Career advancement and taking on a more challenging role both peak for developers with 3 to 5 years under their belts, the survey found. There are many reasons a developer may choose to switch employers, and whilst it is important to ignore the impact of compensation, other factors play an important role, especially as the role of work in our lives continues to evolve, it says. For those concerned with hiring and retaining developers, money talks, but it is not the only topic of conversation. PHP, a programming language popular for web and backend development, was once one of the most popular languages. Still, it is showing signs of dropping down the rankings, according to software testing firm TIOBE. TIOBE's November 2021 list of the most popular languages puts PHP in 10th position. The language has fallen 2 places since last November. Today, it's overshadowed by Python, C, Visual Basic, and JavaScript. PHP was once the master of web programming, but now it is facing a lot of competition in this field. This is not to say that PHP is dead. There are still a lot of small and medium enterprises relying on PHP, so I expect PHP to decline further, but in a very slow pace, notes TIOBE CEO Paul Jensen. PHP, a scripting language, was created in 1994 and peaked as the 3rd most popular language in 2010 in TIOBE's rankings. On Microsoft-owned GitHub, PHP remains popular too, but has been eclipsed by Microsoft JavaScript superset language TypeScript. TypeScript has a type system that compiles into JavaScript and is popular for larger web applications. TIOBE bases its rankings on queries made on several search engines about programming languages. It's one of several sources that developers can use to track what languages are worth investing time into learning. However, there are some quirks to TIOBE's list. JavaScript, for example, is in 7th place now. Developer analyst Redmonk has placed JavaScript at the top spot for several years and had PHP in fourth place in the first quarter of 2021. Python's biggest mover across both indexes has enjoyed growing adoption because of machine learning and data science in recent years. TOB's top 10 list of most popular languages in descending order is Python, C, Java, C++, C#, Visual Basic, JavaScript, Assembly Language, SQL, and PHP.